So a couple of the other challenges that we had along the way were, again, it was shot ahead of time and utilized later. So it was shot specifically for the look, and so there was camera shake put on it, and you know, there was fog already rolling through some of the scenes. So one of the things that the director wanted to do was add more fog to the battle scenes, and that is always doable, but with camera shake added, you have to do motion tracking and all this crazy stuff. So since we had only a matter of weeks to get all the special effects done, we had to think about other things that we needed to spend our time on. So some of the scenes that were originally laid out for visual effects were canceled on the visual effects, but I don't think it loses anything from the film. I think the battle scenes look great the way they are. Also, you know, with the meteorites hitting the ground and knocking a little chunk of the bumper off the van, that was another challenge with being shot. When you shoot a visual effects shot, you really don't want to put any camera shake in, and the movements of the camera can always be sped up in post, so you want to move them slow, and you want to have a really high shutter speed so that you can get a really accurate motion track, and you can add motion blur later and things like that. Well, these were shot like film, you know, like a final product, so they had a lot of motion blur and they had camera shake, and so we had some challenges with that, but I think we still managed to provide some really decent shots, and I don't think that we really could have done any better even if it was shot as a visual effects sequence in the amount of time that we had to do it. Yeah, again, I think the biggest challenge that we had was we had a matter of weeks to do all of the visual effects for the film, and along with that came some enormous technical challenges, because it was kind of this perfect storm of Murphy's Law where, and I'm sure you guys can understand what I mean, where we had equipment failures and hard drive crashes, one after the other, and lost data here and lost image sequences there. And you know, the film was shot on a RED, and so that provides QuickTime sequences that are in a very specific format, and so they're essentially one movie file. When you do visual effects, everything is done as individual images for every frame. And so since the film was edited on Final Cut, we ended up having to take the extra step of outputting those image sequences as QuickTime movies, which is really rarely done from a visual effects side. So we get it into QuickTime movies so that they could be imported into Final Cut.